My name's Phil. I'm a multi-sig signer at Bright Moments.
My name's Henry. I'm a software engineer at Bright Moments.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about self-custody wallets. We onboard hundreds of people to crypto every month through events like this, and it's really the way that we started at Bright Moments. So this is a topic that is extremely important to us. It's something where if you do it right the first time, you'll be finding you have a good experience, but it's really important that you get off on the right foot. So we wanted to take about 15 minutes or so to talk to you. I have some opinions here. Henry is self-custody wallet maxi, so we're hoping to share some information with you. I'm going to start out, I'm going to describe a technology. So one of the reasons we're really excited about this technology is the ability to access a decentralized system of information across the entire world. It couldn't be possible without encryption, and we believe that it has the power to connect billions of people. This technology that I'm talking about is a web browser. And if I were to describe a web browser to you from first principles, it would sound like magic. It's a portal that you access from a device that fits in your pocket, and it allows you to watch videos of people doing literally anything you could think of anywhere in the world. It's pretty amazing. And there's a lot of terms that we've become accustomed to that sound crazy. And if I were to try to describe them to you, it would sound like geeky tech talk. But because there's such a compelling reason to use a web browser, we've all jumped through the hoops to learn it. And so I believe that analogies are one of the strongest ways to learn. And so I want to give a few analogies of how Web3 and self-custody wallets are similar to web browsers. And hopefully that helps with the learning journey. So as I mentioned, we really think that self-custody wallets are the modern equivalent of a web browser. You can think about different blockchains as like different web pages that you can access. And this wallet is really the first step. Maybe you remember the first time you installed a web browser. Probably someone emailed you a DVD in the mail and you put it on your computer. And this is a little bit of where we are in that journey right now on the adoption curve. Many people don't have a self-custody wallet. You know, some people go through these centralized exchanges, which are similar to the guarded portals you remember like AOL. But over time, people are going to really realize that this part of decentralization is the important thing. And you may have heard the seed phrase, it's 12 words. We try to describe it to people as like these 12 magic words. And that's like your master password. Maybe you have a LastPass or a OnePass or a Google account where if that password gets compromised, it really messes a lot of things up. That's like your seed phrase. And so when you write those 12 words down, you really don't want to share them. There's also your private key. So maybe for certain one-off websites, you use a different password. For many people, it's not super secure. And so private keys take that upon themselves to be very long and very hard to guess. Public keys are your username. On blockchains, there are unique identifiers that associate with every wallet address. And it's really interesting because you keep that public key across applications. So maybe I'm Phil M on Twitter, or Phil on Firecaster, or Phil Mohun on Instagram. In Web3, you get to keep your name and move it with you across different applications you use. And finally, there's a service that's really exciting called ENS, which allows you to have human-readable names. And so when you type a URL into your browser, maybe you go to facebook.com, it's redirecting you to an IP address. And all of that stuff has been hidden under the hood, but at the very beginning, when it was just the geeks, that was what was at the surface. And so that's our goal, is to sort of reduce the friction here, make Web3 easier for people to learn. I'm going to pass it over to Henry to give some of his tips, but the one thing, if I can leave you with a piece of advice today, is never, ever do this. And share your seed phrase. Good luck. Maybe there's some NFTs in there. I'll leave it up to you, and maybe over to you, Henry.
Hey everyone. So I'm going to talk about self-custody. So the first thing is to be kind of cautious when you're interacting with sites. So when I kind of received my first NFT and I got set up with a wallet, overnight I received a very high value NFT, or so I thought. I was dropped this token and it had a 2 wrapped ETH bid on it on OpenSea. And I was like really excited, so I called up my friend and I was like, what is this? And it turns out it was a scam. And if I'd accepted that, it would have rugged everything in my wallet. And that's quite a common thing to happen. So typically only interact with things that you know you're interacting with when you have a self-custody wallet, because you have complete control over your assets. From time to time, it's important to revoke permissions. So with web browsers, you have like cookies, and they make it easier when you access sites over and over again. You have the same concept with Web3, but they're permissions. So when you interact with a smart contract, you give the smart contract access to your wallet, and it's very good to revoke those permissions from time to time. and you can use services to do that, such as revoke.cash. It's always good to kind of double check the URL that you're connecting your wallet to. So on Twitter, you have these scams where people use like lowercase L's in place of I's and all sorts of things like this. And the same kind of goes for URLs with web browsers. So just make sure you're checking that you know what you're interacting with. It's very important when it comes to Web3. And finally, there's making sure that you have enough ETH to cover gas fees. When you connect to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's great because it's free. And you have access to all of this content. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm just going to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. The reason it's free is because you're the product. And ultimately, you're being used to make money out of. Whereas with Web3, you've got to kind of pay your way. And that's why there's gas. So you're supporting kind of the network that you're using. So it's very important just to make sure that in all of your crypto wallets, you have enough ETH to cover the gas for your transactions. So a few reasons to have a self-custody wallet. Very hot topic at the moment is full control of your assets. I don't know if anybody's been following the news. But yeah, it's very good to have full control of your assets. And crypto really empowers you to do that. Another thing is you can join a DAO. So Bright Moments is the first DAO that I joined. And I can vote on community decisions using my NFTs, using my crypto citizens. It's the reason we're here. Twitter's kind of enabled everybody to get together, and DAOs really allow people to self-organize. And they're a really strong feature of having a self-custody wallet. Private and decentralized, so you don't need identity verification to set up a wallet, which is another great thing. Anybody can use it. There's no like central authority saying you can, you can't, which is fantastic. You can also claim a unique ENS name, which is very fun. And it makes your life like so much easier because your wallet is like, what, 32 bits, whatever. Nobody's going to remember their wallet address, but you might remember your ENS name. Hopefully you do. It's like your address online. Finally, you can start your NFT art collection, and it's just really fun. You have all sorts of different chains. I personally like collecting on Tezos, and yeah, you can start your NFT collection. You can browse like FXHash, art blocks, and find NFTs and communities and things that you like. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you guys. One thing before we go, we have an artist in residence named Mario Carrillo. And if you don't have a self-custody wallet and you set one up while you're here, we will help you start your generative art collection. And so really the goal is to give people an incentive, right? As Henry alluded to, we see what happens when other people have custody of your funds. You're not in control, but fear can't be the only reason that people flee to these decentralized systems. There needs to be an exciting reason. There needs to be the same reason we all use the web. And so if you don't have a self-custody wallet, we encourage you to set one up, and we will help you start your generative art collection. Just find anyone from the Bright Moments team, and we'd be happy to do so. All right, that's all the time we got. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.